So hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to my new place as well. So I'm just setting up this. It isn't quite finished. You can still hear some reverb. I don't know if you can hear that. Maybe I'll try to clean it a little bit. And so I decided just to kind of start in this new place, also to go with the basic concept of just making a beat on the MPC. So what I'll be doing today is I'll be using samples from a sound pack that was out last month, and it's called 2018 Crop, which is just a bunch of samples from last year that I used to make beats with. So I'll be using those slices today. I'm just going to go through the folders, try to find sounds that I haven't used yet, and making a beat with it. If you like the samples, the link will be right below if you want to go and grab that. Support the channel. If you want to be part of Patreon as well, it's just $1 a month and you get samples that I take. I put them right there on Patreon. So let's start with this. Basically what I'm going to do straight away is just go into my browser, and I was already doing that. I'm just going to go and try to find some samples. I have this program right here where I'm going to put all the samples that I'm going to bring in from my folder. So just shift menu, go into the browser, places. I'm going to go into my hard drive. So I was searching already for some samples. I'm going to load this one up. So the entire sound pack is made mostly out of small cuts like this. You also have loops and drum sounds and stuff like that, but mostly just cuts like this. This is how I normally like to produce, with small chops like that. I mean, there's so much stuff around. What I'm gonna do now is I'll just go and make a drum loop first. So I'm just gonna load up some snares, some kicks and stuff like that. Just make a drum beat first, and then I'll try to use these chops that I have, and if not, I'll just search for other ones. So let's go. Let's go here to my folder where I have almost all my drums. And I have this new pack that a friend of mine just gave me this pack. Just go here to my drums. Like that. And you guys can sample this from YouTube as well if you want. That's just a bicycle sound. You guys got that? Like that. So these are handcrafted snares actually. Just records them into the microphone with certain sounds in. Alright, so let's just make a beat. So let's And let's go for the samples now. So I'm just gonna go into the program and turn the entire pads, all of them. I'm gonna press on the Alt and turn this into mute group number 1, just the way I do it. Then go here and I have this set to poly, which is good. Instead of using this in mono, I just put all the chops into a mute group, just because then it's easier to take a sample out of the drum program, out of monophonic mode. It's just easier for me to then get it to be polyphonic while all the other pads still mute each other. It's just my way of doing it. So I'm just going to start with that, and then I'll try to find other samples for it. So, and that start point of the sample isn't quite where I want it to be, so I'm just going to go to the sample and trim the start. So I digged in through some of the samples and I found some samples that might work. So I haven't tested it yet, but I think these are gonna work. So I'll just make something. And yeah, the way I normally do it is just, you know, I have the beat playing. When I make something I need extra samples, I just let the beat play, then I dive into where all my other samples are, and just to find something that kind of matches the same harmonic content. That's basically it. So what I do is just kind of like that. Then when I find something that I like, I just put it into a pad, load it up, and that's it. So a very, very basic kind of workflow. I don't complicate stuff too much. What I do is I sample a lot and I put everything into folders, organize everything. Then I just go and reuse samples all the time, because there's a lot of samples that even though I sample them, I don't really use them and I just put them on the side whenever I need. I go to the same pack again, to the same folder, and try to find samples that I forgot I had sampled. And you just find cool stuff. You find samples that sometimes it didn't match on the first, but then when you find another sample that actually goes with it, and it's kind of like magic. So in any way, let's see what I can come up with. So I found these samples. Right. Yeah. Right. So let's see what I can do with this. So I chose to have the same sample play again, but I'm gonna put it into note on so I can reverse it. Right, so that way it reaches the other sample. Make sure go to the grid edit and have that note reach the end. So put that into 16s. Adjust the cut point. So So notice how I'm not using any quantization because, because I like to, like in this case, if that was right in the grid, it wouldn't sound as perfect because the sample does start a little bit before. I don't chop all my samples on the 1 and the 2. I might chop it just a bit before or a bit after. It depends on how it sounds when I'm sampling, when I'm cutting the samples. And try not to use quantize, not just for the drums, but also for the samples, because sometimes you don't want it to start right on point depending on how you chop it. I have that covered. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump. This needs a bass, but hopefully the next samples I'm going to use are going to have some bass in them. So I'm just going to go jump to another track and I'm going to duplicate this program, right? And the reason why I'm duplicating the program is because I don't want the samples I'm going to use in this track to mute the other track. So duplicate the program. Now you can reuse the samples in a different way that you want. So let's see what I can layer over the samples that I've created already. So right now, what I did, I used that for my bass. I used 16 levels for that, and just so I can get some bass under that sample. I also added a voice right here. Basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix everything, just check all the levels and see how I can equalize everything to put it clean as much as I can out of this. I'll try to take out some noises that I don't like, maybe pan some of the sounds to make sure that everything fits nice in the mix. So I'm just going to go through it, and this won't be like a really expert work, just something that I can easily listen to. So I've mixed a few things right here. Basically just lowering levels of the kick, the snare. I added some reverb to the snare. I lowered the level of the kick as well. So jumping to the samples right here. So the main sample, I went ahead to the program and actually just played with the cutoff right there. Just took some of the highs out. Then I added some. Yep. So the thing about this sample right here. I actually had to do something to this sample, so I had to cut out something that was there in the middle. So if you hear that hi-hat in the middle there, what I did basically was just go there and take that bit out, process, delete, so it deletes the section that you selected. I'm not going to do it now because I already did it. And So basically just make sure you keep the zero snap on so everything kind of falls easier into place. So that hi-hat went away, and so this sits well with the mix. And basically that was it. I didn't do too much, just leveling out the snares, the kicks, the hi-hats, giving some reverbs. I also went to the master and just used the air plugin, the channel strip one. And I like to use this preset right here, the more low end. I also tweaked some of the parameters here, and that's basically it. For now, I'm good with it. When I use this later on, I'll do some extra editing with this. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm just going to relax. It's especially warm today here in Portugal, so I'm just going to have some fun now playing the beat I made. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to support me, all the samples I make go to Patreon. This is going to Patreon as well. Actually, this one went already to Patreon last year because this is made from last year's samples. But if you want to grab new ones, just go there, support me, support the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.